are on like an Arab remake of The Matrix right now.
Yo, dude, I'm really going for a really cool young imam kind of vibe.
Like instead of overdubbing, they just did a low budget remake.
I want to be. I'd love to be the imam that CNN goes to. I tried to be Fox News' imam, but they weren't having me. They found me
Mm-mm.
too nuanced.
Yeah,
I
you
want to
know.
be the cool imam now.
So you want to be what? CNN, MSNBC? Who are we doing here?
I would be an imam at CNN. I like the hysteria of CNN. That vibes with me a little bit more.
I was just recently. I did a show in Mammoth Lakes, and we were staying in this hotel, and the hotel had MSNBC on, which was kind of strange for the play. Kind of, we were in a mountain town. I assumed it would have been Fox News, but I
Yeah.
literally every single time I walked into the lobby or out of the lobby, all I heard was, "And the horrific events of January 6th." Like this is
Dude,
like 3 days ago, and it was like every
I
time I walked in and out.
I sincerely can't get over how much of the sorry about that. That was me. I'm posting this into our Patreon just in case any of those dorks want to check this out. Although every single time I post in our Patreon that, you know, hey, we're coming back, we're going hard, people seem to leave the Patreon more and more. I've posted several times to be like, well, guess what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? And let me tell
Yeah.
you, dude, these guys are not interested.
Well, that those emails are probably like they probably missed that we're not doing it email and they forgot about their Patreon.
Yeah,
And they're
without a question.
like, so that just reminded them that they had to unsubscribe.
Whatever. You know what, man? Whoever's around is around. I'm gonna post this in the Patreon really quickly. They can check it out. If not, you know, whatever. Um, we're and this actually sets it up quite nicely. We're broadcasting live on YouTube right now. If you are wondering what's going on and you follow our YouTube channel and you didn't watch the last episode, just don't watch it. Just ignore it right now. Move right past it.
I just want
Um,
to get out of the way right out the top that Ramsey did not give me any advance notice that we were supposed to gussy up our backgrounds.
well, I did kind of. I feel like I made it kind of clear that I had a pretty sick setup going on right now, and but that's completely fine. Look, I've been spending the last few weeks just hanging out on Twitch and kind of seeing what the future is like because I sort of have decided that it's like if you're not going to fight to preserve anything, you just have to run as fast as you can towards the future. So, just kind of checking out
It's
what
a
the
long, clunky way of saying if you can't beat them, join them.
without a question. Except for I've realized that that them are way cooler than I thought they were. Dude, the streaming world is awesome. These
You
guys are
love the
fucking
streaming
great.
world?
Oh,
Yeah. Well,
these
it's like,
guys have no concern of being canceled. They're dropping harsh racial slurs
yeah, I
all
mean
over the
that's
place.
every Twitch celebrity has like an M-bomb scandal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
These guys are going crazy on Twitch. So, anyways, um, one of the things that I think the reason why we're even trying this today is because one of the problems that we had with the way things were previously is it was so hard sometimes to line things up, and so I got this program that's going to make streaming a possibility for when we can't do any in person stuff. So
nice.
you know, and maybe this is sort of a off the air conversation, but I just sort of want to let everybody know who's listening that you know, we're going to give it a try in 2022. That's
I
sort of
mean,
the plan.
if the people who know we're live are exclusively on our Patreon, then they're investors. So consider this a board meeting. You know what I
Yeah, and
mean?
I want to let everybody know. And if you're just watching on the YouTube stream, maybe you follow us on YouTube. Kind of if you're maybe want to wonder, hey, I saw the last episode. Why'd you guys decide to come back? Brian and I had a long conversation, and honestly, we decided that we missed making $300 a month. We missed
Well,
it.
150.
Well, 100, yeah, of course. Well, after expenses and everything, we owe it $200.
You know, it's like, listen, do I want to save 70 hours a week or do I want to make $75? And you know, I can't just leave that $75 on the table.
And let me tell
What
you,
point is that?
how I guess my feeling was, how can I get the most amount of people to disappoint for the least amount of money, like the least amount of payoff for that
Right.
disappointment?
Well,
And so that's kind of where we're at right now.
Are you
Isn't this
sick?
I'm getting over being sick. I had I caught something in Minneapolis, shaking hands, dude. I was getting wild in Minneapolis, shaking people's hands, fucking
Mm,
letting people sit on my lap after the show. Shit got
wow.
wild, and that sounds way cooler than it was. But all the people who sat on my laps were big Midwestern dudes.
Was there a lot of like Somalians and Ethiopians at the shows?
You know what? No, absolutely not. The clubs I've been performing at the last few weeks have a strict white only advertising policy. Everybody who knows about what it is strictly white. I
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
mean,
the
it's a
benefits of an email list.
you've been to that club in Minneapolis. It's at the top of a mall. It
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
be any more of a white like
yeah. Oh,
there's no
you were at
yeah.
House of Comedy. I forgot. I thought you were at Acme for some reason.
No. I was
So
at House of
House of
Comedy.
Comedy, that's in the suburbs. That's like Bloomfield or something, right?
It's Bloomington, Minneapolis.
Bloomington, yeah.
And I had a great time. I did go to some Somali restaurants, dude. I had the full Somali experience.
Are they still doing just fingers right in the food? Is it still that style, or did COVID?
Well,
Yeah.
so no. And let me tell you about how fucking Somali this place is. Something that you may not be aware of, Brian, because we live in a god awful city of Los Angeles, and
Mhm.
I don't get the respect I deserve in Los Angeles. However,
Regarding what? As a comedian, as a
as
Palestinian?
a
What do you mean?
person in
As
general,
a person? Oh, okay.
yeah, and but here's the thing, and here's where I get my respect. If you are in a Muslim culture and
Mhm,
you don't speak Arabic fluently, like maybe
mhm.
you're Somali, you're Pakistani, you're
Mhm.
Indian, whatever, you're Malaysian, and you hear a guy who can really speak Arabic, you will give him like it's like a celebrity. People will sit down with you, they'll clear the way for you, they'll
Will
want to
they
chit
fluff
chat with
the
you.
pillow that you're using as a seat?
Yeah, they'll give you
Fluff
the
that
respect that you
seat pillow?
deserve. So we found a Somali Muslim restaurant, and they were like treating us like garbage at first. Like they were like they didn't want to even deal with. I didn't think they were going to serve us. They were ignoring us the whole time. But I dropped the name of the restaurant, which was Barakallah.
Mhm.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I dropped it to them, and like as I was like kind of reading the menu items to them, and they could kind of tell with
Oh, it's
my
like when I get pulled
accent.
over by a cop and I hand him my VA card, and I'm like,
It's
"Oh, I'm sorry, that's not
exactly
my
that.
driver's license.
Yeah,
This is my driver's license."
that's my way of getting of getting service at a Somali place, or when ISIS eventually kidnaps whatever plane I'm on.
Uh,
I was trying to save $71, so I took a fucking shitty flight, and then ISIS wants to take it over. I go, I drop a
ISIS would
couple
never take
words.
over a Spirit airline.
You know what's funny is I've never flown Spirit. I don't get any of the jokes. I mean, I get them. I understand
No, no,
context
I'm not
clues.
even talking about Spirit. I'm just saying they're gonna do a pricier
Sure, you're right about
airline.
that, but I was even just adding to that and saying,
Mhm.
you say Spirit and everybody kind of laughs. I've never been on Spirit before. It's never made any sense for me financially to get on a Spirit flight because it's one of those things where they're like, it's $20 to get on the plane and then $42 to leave, and then
Yeah,
if you have
yeah,
to take
yeah,
a
yeah,
shit, it's 10
yeah.
bucks and
It's $10. There's like a little like kind of like when you go to an arcade and you want to play skee ball. You got to get coins. Those coins cost about $10
they
because
got
there's no
yeah.
cash transactions on an airplane. So
Yeah,
they swipe your
exactly.
card, give you a token for the bathroom, and then each toilet square of toilet paper is another $15.
It's an absolute mess. Yeah. So I've never hopped on a Spirit Airlines flight before, but I'm gonna do it just to see what all the fuss is about.
I
I'm
mean,
doing it as a tourist.
you can get to Vegas for what the ticket will be $17. By the end, you will have spent $700, but the ticket
Sure.
itself is 17
I actually I was recently looking. I'm looking to travel to El Salvador, and
for
I saw
crypto stuff.
this is true. No, well, I'm looking. Listen, I'm looking for a vacation, and I want my
The only
dollar to go
country where your
far.
money's good.
Yeah. I'm looking for the dollar to go far. I really am. So, I basically what I did was I hopped on the US what is it, travel.gov, and I looked
Yeah.
at all of the advisories, and I they have like if you look at any country in travel.gov, it'll tell you like here's what we think you can travel or not, or here's why it's dangerous or not dangerous, and
Oh yeah, yeah,
they
yeah,
they
yeah.
give it like codes, code 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything that was 3 and above was in my price range.
Yeah,
Everything that
yeah,
was
yeah,
like the most dangerous or like highly advised do not travel, that was where
yeah.
my
Mhm.
price range was at.
And is there is that so then now you're going proximity? Was that the closest
Yeah, it's
place within your
cheap.
budget?
It's cheap enough to get there, and then when I get there, I can treat the local slaves to whatever whatever few dollars I have in my pocket left. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, and I want to say this about that type of tourism or whatever the situation is. I think it's only wrong if the situation that you're coming from is a lot better than where they're at. And I feel like the situation financially where I'm coming from in America is, only 10 times better than their life in El Salvador.
I
So I
mean,
feel better about it.
I essentially live in El Salvador right now.
I mean,
So,
essentially. Yeah.
you know what I mean? I mean, it's mostly Southern Mexicans. That's down there.
It's not about your class relative to where you are in the world. It's about like your class, your low class. Like if you're low class where you're from, then you need to be treated as such on the in the other places.
Yeah. You just like the only thing I don't like about El Salvador is that everything is based around like tech. It's kind of like Israel in that way, where like everything's based around the techno, the disco tech or whatever.
Uh
Like that's everything happens at the disco, and there's a lot of
huh.
that reggaeton.
Oh, there's still a lot of it's a disco
That's
culture.
yeah, that's like kind of the only safe places you can go to are these like really like club centric kind of tourist places.
Yeah,
You know, otherwise, or you're going to like MS-13 territory, and it's like,
that's where I'm
you know,
more
it's a
comfortable is
headache.
hanging with
So,
MS-13 and the gang,
I
paying
would
them
be too
off.
if I could be like, guys, listen, I'm not going to meddle with your business. I just like you more than I
Yeah,
like
without a
the
question.
disco tech.
I'll stay out of the way. I'll support a couple of the local whores if necessary. Whatever you
I'll
guys
swallow a few
need,
condoms full of whatever you got to put in those condoms.
without a question. I'll head right the heck back. Hey, as long as it fits in a Magnum, boys, because that's all I got, right? Right, guys?
Yeah.
Trying to high
Don't give
five
me any
them.
milk or I'll shit that condom out in an hour because I have IBS. You give me
That's how
a
you
catheter
got to get
on
rid of
Monday, the condoms come out like shit through a goose. I make it 8 steps. Excuse me. Where's the
Yeah,
how do you say bathroom? Lavanda?
El Bano, I think.
El
I
baño? Yeah.
I think you're right about that. If I was a drug smuggler or maybe in charge of the drug smuggling process, I'd probably throw a few rules on what you can eat. I'd do a 23andMe test on you beforehand. Don't even try tomatoes for the next few
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah. What do you yeah, no. I couldn't do it, dude. I shit immediately, no matter what I eat.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You would not. You would have to. You'd get on the airplane, and then you would shit on the airplane, and then you'd have to
I'd have to
swallow it
swallow
again.
again. Ah!
You have to keep eating it,
Oh
keep
god.
swallowing it. What an unfortunate circumstance you would be in. By the way, everybody, do you think this hat looks cool on me? Because I can't decide.
No.
Damn
No,
it, dude.
it doesn't look cool.
I look like I work at In-N-Out in Pakistan, don't I?
I I I feel like I don't know if this is gonna be an insult or a compliment
Well,
because
I'll
it's
tell you
one
right
of
now,
the
it's probably
moods
going to
right
be an insult. It's
No, I
probably going to
feel
be an
like
insult.
there are many times, probably Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you consider this a compliment.
Okay.
But I feel like you're too light skinned for that hat. You look too white. You look like you went to college to study like Sunni studies.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah,
this
you
is a
look
little
like
bit better.
now that's more Aladdin.
It's got a real Aladdin vibe to it when I got
Yeah,
it
you
right
should
the
have
way
a
it is.
monkey on your shoulder and you should be tossing a date up in the air while you're considering your next move.
Or you know what I should be doing with this hat right now is I should be like swapping ice cream cones out of out of people's
Oh
hands.
yeah, tricking them with the ice cream.
You know what's sad is I was looking at one of those guys' videos. And I was thinking if if that guy went on the road, he would unquestionably sell more tickets than either of us.
Well, he has more of a skill. Anybody can make you laugh, but can you make ice cream disappear and then
It's very
reappear?
true. If he just got on stage and just did that to various people while they ate dinner and watched, they would. I think it would be a great show. That guy's gone.
Yeah, he starts with like a 3-course meal. He's got shish kebabs going on. He's like,
He thinks it's just come on. He probably does with other food too, man. He'll probably
oh,
because he's got to go on the roads. He's got to start build the act.
yeah. No, the ice cream's his closer. Dessert is your closer.
Without a question. He's yanking meatballs off of your plate.
Yeah.
He's taking ribs out of your hands before you take a
Yeah.
bite.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
dude.
rolls under that hat of his, dinner rolls at the beginning, pads of butter that shoot out of his wrists.
Dude, I think I've told you the story of this hat, but I want to repeat it and maybe I'll show it to the listeners at home. This hat was given to me by my father, and it was given to him by another man. And my dad,
It's a regift.
one of his homies at the mosque gave him this hat, and my dad personally found it to be a little out of his style. A little too colorful for the old man. It's a little too much, a little too much pizzazz. So Adley,
He likes
or
the doily plain white,
he
right?
wants a plain white, dude. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm trying to go to the mosque here. I'm not in fashion week in Milan. I don't need
Yeah,
people
it's not
looking
my
at me.
wedding night.
It's not my wedding night, and indeed. And so this is the story behind this hat. And I kind of like it. I sort of think I have this feeling that if I wear it hard enough, it'll eventually start to like be a thing where I could wear it to like on stage and walk around in my day to day wearing it. I just don't have
It
the
has a very
confidence.
like Fresh Prince of Bel Air, early '90s, fifth on the call sheet on Martin
Yeah,
kind
that's
of vibe to it.
people
Like,
are gonna think I'm appropriating black culture, and I
yeah,
have to explain to them they were actually appropriating my culture at the
doesn't
time.
matter though. Once you're at that point where you're trying to explain that, you're already lost.
You've completely lost. You
Yeah,
go fucking home. It's a
yeah,
horrible life you're living. That's completely
yeah.
fair.
You look like you should be reciting a Maya Angelou poem in a like
I,
slam poetry
no, I
session.
shouldn't. Okay, I should be cutting shawarma up with this hat, and anything that anybody else tells you is a goddamn lie.
Wait, is that a anytime? Is that like a ball cap over there? Is that anytime use? That doesn't. You
Yeah,
don't
you
just put
can't
that
tell I'm
on
wearing it
for special
backwards
occasions?
right now.
No, but what I'm saying is it like, oh, it's not for special occasions. That's an anytime use hat.
Honestly, my belief, I think it is an anytime use hat. I do think when you see a guy rocking this hat where I'm from, there's some piety to be assumed about him.
Mhm. Right.
It's not a hard and fast rule that the guy's a religious dude, but he goes to the mosque. I mean, this is like throwing on your baseball cap before going to the game and
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
baseball. You would want to do this before you hit the prayers.
Oh, like bringing your glove to the outfield to catch a foul ball.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. One of these days, we got to do a live report from the bathroom bathroom of a mosque.
Are you allowed to film in there? That seems like
I don't think so. And I gotta tell you right now, dude, it's a fucking crazy experience. It's like a Muslim locker room. It's a crazy experience in there. You would like you're thinking like, God, what do you mean? It's just a bathroom. Okay, it's not though. It's a completely different situation. Every single bath, like every single toilet, right next to it has like a water planter, like a water, or I'm sorry, a watering can, like you would use
Mhm,
on a plant. But
mhm.
you're supposed to use it on your dick and your asshole when you either shit or piss.
Let's
Like,
see, hope it grows.
no, no, come on. I mean, that's hilarious. I wish I would have. I wish I would have been clever enough to say that when I was a kid, but didn't have that kind of game. But you
Oh
also don't
man,
want
I
to
hope this makes my dick grow big.
be,
Oh,
dude.
Ramsey.
You can't be dropping that kind of stuff at the mosque. That's the thing is you're doing some very intimate stuff, but you're not allowed to talk about it. And then you got to
Yeah.
do the wudu. Have I ever? Do you know what a wudu is? Have I ever like done that with for you?
Is that the hand washing thing?
It's a hand washing thing, but it's a little bit more than a hand washing thing. You want to
Of
look at
course
a
it is.
video of
You
it?
can't just be washing your hands. Why
No,
would mom and
it's a
yeah,
pretty.
you
Look,
had
I'm
a book
gonna.
to fill. Have you noticed like part of these rituals seems like he was just like late on a book report. He was trying to fill out the meat of it by being like, oh yeah, then this is how you wash your hands.
I mean, I could see that, but I obviously, of course, wouldn't for reasons of respect. I wouldn't see it that way.
Right. Fair enough.
Here's the. Can you see? Let me see. Can you see the video that I have shared with you here?
The YouTube video?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see it at the bottom of the screen.
it's like some guys in a shadow or something.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
what it is?
yeah, it's some scary thing.
It's
They're
a
either I don't know, they're beheading somebody or plotting a revolution.
It's something of the sort. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's actually the wrong one. I wanted to show you the wudu
It's like
because.
an oil painting where he only had one color.
Oh yes, yeah,
Oil
yeah,
painting.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah. All right, I think I've shown
it's
you. I'm
literally
showing.
just oil.
I think I'm now showing you the correct one. This is how to wudu. This is the process of preparing oneself for prayer. And let me see here. Let me just bring it all the way to the top. By the way, I'm doing all the work that Tyler used to do. Well, it's the work that Tyler promised he was doing.
Yeah,
What were
Tyler,
we paying him for?
I think we were paying for him to get too high,
Dude, and that
essentially.
he did. That he
Yeah.
certainly did.
How to make voodoo. That sounds like an old blues song about how to fuck.
I don't know if it's
Well, this is a dot
All
over.
praise is due to Allah.
yeah, I don't know if you necessarily even need straight up to be doing the you know the songs in the background or the I
Ooh,
should say the prayer.
I like that widow's peak he's got going with his hood. That little triangle.
It looks good.
There's a lot of subtle little things you can do to stand out.
You
with
really
these
can.
costumes or uniforms or what have you, garb.
Ooh, so he's inside of. By the way, he's inside the bathroom at a mosque. So this is sort of the experience I was telling you about.
We seek His help, we seek His forgiveness, and mercy, blessing be upon our Prophet Muhammad.
Is there no audio?
I'm not getting audio.
Sallallahu alayhi wa
Are you?
Oh, I think I thought I was given audio, but maybe I'm not, dude. That's fucking devastating to hear.
And he has that classic little lapel, or what do you call that little microphone that all the imams use, except he's wearing it right. He's not holding it in his hand.
It's without a yeah, absolutely yes.
What do you call those? A lav?
I think you call them a lav mic. Yeah,
lav mic. Lavalier. Yeah, lavalier.
Okay, let me try one more time. Let me see if this if this works. In the meantime, do me a favor.
19 or 50.
I honestly can't tell either. I genuinely can't tell. Okay. Tell me if there's any audio here.
A prayer
no.
is a link between Allah Almighty and...
I'm so mad because that's basically this. Our entire show relies on this audio working. I mean, it doesn't really, but it would be nice if it worked.
Glad you see Worst Hours right back, right on back to where things always were.
Dude, I really legit was like, well, crazy that I have a solution for all the problems that we used to have. Okay. Well,
do you think maybe it's a setting? Like, are you hearing sound?
I'm hearing sound. Yeah,
so
yeah.
It could be a settings issue. Hold on.
But I also don't know if the stream is getting the sound. I guess you could check via stream really quickly. Let me check on the stream and see.
Okay.
His slave or the people.
Oh, okay. Porcelain Jesus just let me know that the video is audible to the stream, but for some reason it is not audible to you. Interesting.
I can't tell because I have my speakers as my Zoom L8 and I have Zoom L8 all set. Yeah, there's no reason why.
Interesting.
Shouldn't.
Guess okay. Interesting. I have no idea. We want to try to maybe kick you out, maybe you come back in or something, or maybe that could possibly work, or
we can try that.
I mean, it can't work, right? What does that even mean?
I'm not entirely sure. Like my speaker, let me try a different speaker setting.
Okay. If you're listening in the stream, I want to take this opportunity while Brian does this.
Try hit play one more time. Sorry.
To remind you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell, all that kind of stuff. Comment in the chat, give us some thumbs up, blah, 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 blah.
Should link himself always.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing on that, huh?
You press play already?
I did.
Yeah, I'm getting nothing. Hold on here.
To Allah Almighty. For this link, a person should offer wudu or ablution.
Do us a favor, follow us on all of our social media platforms at Worst Hour Pod, blah, 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 blah. While Brian attempts to figure out the sound situation, let me also just take this stuff down here. Okay, great. Dude, we got to get Tyler back in here, dude.
Or somebody.
All right, it's fine. We're unfortunately gonna just not get a chance to
try it.
Okay.
This ablution is very important, or one of the
currently
most
playing
important things before going for
right
prayer.
Now. Yeah.
But before starting the wudu, a person should also look into himself, his body, and his clothes, that it should not contain any of filth. So a person should clean himself with water.
We can just talk about everything that we're going to talk about.
And after that,
but can you see the video at the least?
Wudu.
I
the
can't see
ablution.
the video.
Whenever a
Watch the
person
video for right now.
urinates or
This is the we'll do.
defecates, he or she
I'll
should
describe to you what's
wash
going on
their
because
private parts.
people can
After
hear
washing
it
the
right
private
now.
parts, they should take a step and go to do the ablution or wudu.
So he's kind of
How to
explaining,
perform wudu,
essentially
as per
what
our Prophet Muhammad,
what he's
peace
doing
be
right
upon
now.
him,
He's giving the
performed.
backstory behind
Bismillah
it.
walhamdulillah.
Whoa.
All praise is due to Allah, whom we seek His help, we seek His forgiveness,
this is a
and
new
mercy
guy.
blessings be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now we will exactly demonstrate the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's ablution, the way he performed.
Okay, so
First
now
of all,
he's
we have to make
demonstrating
intention,
the
and the
actual,
intention should be in the heart.
wudu itself.
Then we say Bismillah
He's
in the name
explaining
of
to people
Allah.
how you gotta
After
believe it
that,
in
we
your
will
heart
start.
when you do it.
We should open the water slowly.
Muslims are very big, by the way, on things being in your heart when you do it. It's a big thing for Muslims.
Sure.
For something to be in your heart, but it's a lot. Like to be a Muslim, you the only requirement is that you believe that Muhammad is the prophet of Allah, but you believe it with your heart, not just with your mind. So.
That's how any elite athlete is too. You know, you have to.
Yeah.
Like-
I would very much consider my religion to be the religion of elite athletes. Actually, statistically, I think that's true.
Muhammad Ali is the greatest boxer ever.
I think there's quite a lot of
Zab
people.
Judah? Is that a Muslim name?
Who?
Zab Judah?
No, it doesn't sound that. No, not at all. Why? Isn't that your friend?
No, that's a boxer.
Zab Judah sounds almost.
You're thinking of Heath Judah.
That's your friend.
That wasn't my friend. He fucking teabagged me.
But he was your only other positive Palestinian influence you had in your life.
He was a Palestinian with a Corvette. He's a football player with a Corvette who was a bully.
Dude, that fully rules. Okay, wait. Really quickly, let me just finish the wudu. Watch this video, and our listeners can at least hear the audio, and so you can just kind of imagine what's going on.
And then
washing his hands right now 3 times. Very OCD, actually.
Until the wrist.
3 times.
1,
2.
Wow, just really
and also
hamming it
between
up.
the fingers.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, kind of. That's making me want to
After
throw
that,
up.
washing
This
the
looks
mouth
like hand
3
washing
times.
porn.
So right now he's gonna rinse his mouth out with water.
Yeah.
This is Prophet did not know about Listerine or anything like that. So I'm sure if he knew that Listerine would basically kill all the germs in your mouth with one swish, it would just be one swish. But he's doing 3 of these.
This is disgusting. He looks like a bum. I'm sorry.
How dare you?
I'm
How
sorry.
dare you?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Then-
By the way, see how this is all set up? These
Yeah.
in the very back, you see these little stools and thrones for people to chill on. This is
What are behind the seats there?
what do you want behind with the seats where?
Like you said, there's those little thrones to sit on, and then there's
Yeah.
water spouts.
So those water spouts, and on the floor, there's basically like where my
Is that for
mouse is
washing
right
your
now.
feet?
It's where you wash your feet. Yeah, it's basically
You should wash the
it's up
nose.
for you to wash your feet.
3 times.
I like how
Right.
the Christian church is just like, listen, we'll take your word
Taking
for
the
it.
water
You
from one
clean
hand,
before we
taking the water
come
out.
here. We trust you to clean.
I'm truly, really right now, for the first time ever, contemplating the reality that the Prophet Muhammad may have just had kind of an OCD
From the
situation.
second hand.
Like 3, he's cleaning the inside of his nose, as you can see right now. He's kind of doing. You're lucky you can't hear right now, by the way, Brian.
Why
He's doing
would you
snot
go
rocket.
hands?
After that,
Why wouldn't you
we
go
should
hands
wash
after
the
all
face,
that?
starting
Why
from
would
the
you wash your
forehead
hands
until
first
the chin,
and then go to
from
snot
one ear
rockets?
till the
Not a
other
logical
one.
order.
Well, here's the thing: your hand is used so many times throughout the process, and now he's doing his whole face. Got to do three washes of the
No
face.
soap though.
No soap.
Wash
No.
his
That's
hands.
not an existent thing during the time of the Prophet. So you had to go 3 times. You know what I mean?
Starting from the
No soap.
beginning of the
No,
fingers
so at
until
any
the
given
elbow.
time, are there like 25 dudes washing their feet all at once?
Dude, it's like a locker room in here. With
That is a nightmare.
I'm telling you right now, dude. Like pre-Friday prayer, it's just dudes sitting around talking shit, whipping each other with towels.
Combing their feet.
1,
You gotta do his arms. All right.
Oh my god, this
2,
guy is doing it. This is like how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah,
3,
it's done. Exactly.
then the left hand.
My god, he looks like he's about to do surgery. Except I would be like,
1.
can you please use soap?
Well, probably in his home country. Yeah, I would say he's about to do surgery. I'd say here he's probably not.
Is that not a soap dispenser right there?
It's not. Look,
2,
dude, it's not part of the wudu. Sorry, buddy.
3.
You're
So why
talking
is
about
there soap there?
that's for white people only.
After that, taking your wet hands and wiping your head only once,
If that
starting
was
from your
Bronner was
forehead
a Jew, so they
until
stopped
back,
using soap.
and then coming
Dude, now he's gonna do his hair.
back
Got his hair.
and forth.
Gotta make sure your hair's
This is
looking
only
fresh.
once. And then wipe it
Then you gotta do the ears, and then you get to the feet.
3 times, starting from your toe all the way to your ankle,
This
3
is all
times, and be sure
there's
that your
very
water
few
should
things in the world that gross me out, and it's picking ears and touching feet are like the two things that, because my dad, like anything that was around him, a pen cap, a pen, anything that was like, he would pick his ears with it, and it always made me want to throw up.
Bro, these are some rough feet too. I mean, I gotta be real with you. These are rough,
go
man. Look at this.
between your fingers.
He's got like just
One.
shag carpet right there, right
Also,
underneath
why
his
is he putting his foot on the sink if there's feet
3.
washing stations?
He's showing off at this point. This is how we used to have to do it.
Oh, we
When
got
we're-
a tomcat on our hands.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I literally truly would do this 5 times a day. Like 5 times a day, wash them out.
From your
And
toe.
then I mean, he's
And it's highly recommended
as you can
to
see,
say
as you can see by those shots, he was getting really into it.
Dude, that is so nuts to me to just fucking stick your feet. That's called a horse bath. That's what that is.
Yeah,
That's
it's kind of a horse bath.
nothing
in
with
fact,
nuts in the asshole. That's private.
that you do that privately inside of
Stick the spout of the water can into your ass.
so what you do, I mean, if you're asking me to get graphic with it, I have no problem with that. You are supposed to essentially you're sitting down and as you finish your shitting, you finish your pissing or whatever, you kind of dump the water in front of your your onto your dick, and kind of it gets down into the gooch just naturally by the way water rolls. And you're supposed to kind of just give it a scrubbing, once everything is gone. I mean, basically what you would do with a bidet.
Yeah, 100%. It's an analog bidet. I mean, I'm a wet wipe guy. I travel with wet wipes. There was I think Chris Estrada, friend of the show, played me a video of some rapper, I think it was, talking about like, he's like, he doesn't mess with girls who don't use wet wipes, because he's like, why don't you throw some melted chocolate on the floor and clean that up dry and see what it looks like.
I mean, look, that's a solid point. Here's my problem with the wet wipe situation, and it really is just this. I just wish they would have something that is geared towards. I don't know why babies have to be in the mix all the time. Like,
they're not anymore.
People are okay. Good.
Yeah. You don't have to. There's no baby face on there. There's adult wet wipes now.
Yeah, I always felt just uncomfortable with that process. I'm glad to hear that. Now, I don't buy wet wipes. I still do the
creepy about being like, this is for a baby.
Yeah, I still do the old school, pour it down my balls.
Do you keep a watering can by your toilet?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I've never explained to my girlfriend what it is.
Ramsey's really plant.
No plants in the bathroom though, for some reason. Kind of a challenging spot to put it, but whatever.
So
right.
Are there any high holidays, or I know it's kind of a Jewish term, but are there any holidays around this time for you?
Yeah. Well, the Islamic calendar has always thrown me off. I mean, it's never been the same time of year, so we don't have any of that. We have 2 holidays. We have the Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Fitr. Eid al-Fitr comes after Ramadan, and then Eid al-Adha, I don't know. That's sort of I think that's the one's supposed to kick off Hajj. That's sort of like a Hajj kickoff party. You know what Hajj is, right? That's where you go to Mecca and you do all the stuff.
Yep. You get your steps in, you mall walk.
I'm really starting to think homeboy was OCD. Like, walk around 7 times, pray 5 times a day, do it. You got to pray it over and over and over again. Like, this is starting to really sound like a classic, OCD situation.
Yeah. So are you really offended extra by the old stereotype of like a stinky person from the Middle East, considering how much washing is required.
Yeah. I actually totally, when I was younger, felt very much like, no, you guys don't understand. Like everyone's like calling us dirty, but I literally wash my dick and asshole every day.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's just like maybe run a comb through the beard and then because the beard, like,
yes, yeah.
because our only like growing up in America, really our only experience of that beard is a homeless person. You know what I mean?
That's very correct.
So,
I see.
yeah.
I see exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So if you just ran a comb through there, then I think people would be like, "Oh, well, who is this? The guy from Parks and Rec?" You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. So okay. Oh, I found out it's my fault. This whole thing has been my fault, I believe. The audio situation, but we'll
Okay.
see. I tried
I'm
to
glad I didn't hear his fucking feet touching the sink. I would have fallen out.
Yeah, you
I
wouldn't
hate feet, dude. I have a real issue with feet. I really don't like them.
you wouldn't want to deal with it at all.
I
I wanted to show you this.
Anyway,
What's that?
I'm just picturing 30 guys sitting on stools washing their feet and just being like, church is already bad enough, but I think I'd rather get molested by a priest than have to do that every single Friday. You know what I mean? Like, because
no, you're doing that every day. By the way, though, you're doing. I mean, the wudu and all that stuff. You do each time you pray right before you do it. You have to. It's part of the process. You only
go to the mosque once a day, right? Once a week, right?
Once a week, but you pray 5 times a day. So each time you pray, before you pray, you have to do that.
But the only time you're in that locker room scenario,
yeah, it's once
Friday.
Well, if you're my pop, you're in there once or twice. You're in there 3 times a week, easy.
Hey, Bob's in. Do you think they're like, Jesus Christ? Is he like Kramer?
Is he? Yeah, it's like Brian.
Like, oh God.
How many times do you have to go to the gym locker room? I guess it's up to you. How many times do you go to the gym this week, buddy? Are you healthy and living a good life? Or are you a fat piece of shit who shows up once every fucking year? Once an Eid al-Fitr. That's bullshit, dog. You got to be putting it in the hours in the mosque. That's how I see it. All right. Speaking of the mosque, I learned about a new terrorist attack this week, and I wanted to share it with you. I had no idea about this thing. It is called the camp. What is it? Camp Speaker Massacre. Have you ever heard of this before? Is it Specker or no? It's Speaker. SP. I've got the Wikipedia page pulled up here. Can you see the Wikipedia page?
Yeah, I know enough about this to know why you've never heard of it.
Why? Oh, so explain to me why I've never heard of it then.
Because it was like Iraqi on Iraqi crime.
This was Iraqi on Iraqi crime, and that's, I guess, the issue.
That's not going to make the news over here.
So, according to the Wikipedia page, this massacre, I've never heard of this before. It happened in 2014. It's the second biggest terrorist attack in the history of the world, or since we started recording these kinds of things, I guess.
Would you call it a terrorist attack, or would you call it like a massacre? Isn't there a difference?
Well, you tell me, right? So it's like it happened, I guess, in a day or something, where all of these people got killed. I mean, I'm about to play a video where you just see four dudes get killed in the YouTube video. Like the way they're killing them is an incredibly fast sort of mechanical process. Mm-hmm. They said they killed, it says from 1,095 to 1,700 people were killed in the attack. It took place in Tikrit. No, and I guess it happened on one day, June 12th, 2014. So in one day,
home of Saddam Hussein, right?
Home of Saddam Hussein. Yeah, absolutely. So no better way to honor his memory, truly, than to slaughter 1,700 people. At the time of the massacre, there were between 5,000 and 10,000 unarmed cadets in the camps, and ISIL fighters selected the Shiites and the Shias and the non-Muslims for execution. I mean, that's horseshit, dude. Executing non-Muslims is fucked up, dude. I'll never back up an execution of a non-Muslim. That's fucked up shit. Shias, you do your own thing. I mean, you gotta. When it comes to Shias, you gotta deal with Shias how you deal with Shias. I mean, that's sort of how I see it.
Yeah, see, so like you want to keep it all in-house, all the killing, you want to keep it
I'm not saying, look, okay, before YouTube takes us down or somebody complains about this, because we are streaming live to YouTube, thanks to whoever's watching, I'm not saying kill Shias or I want Shias to die. I'm saying that if you've ever met a Shia, if you've ever met one, after 5 minutes, you're like, I see why these guys are always after you, motherfuckers.
What I'm saying is, I know you weren't saying that, but you were saying executing non-Muslims
is like, that's a crime. That's fucking bullshit, dude. Ooh, that gets my boils my blood when I find out a non-Muslim was executed.
Why is that? Why does that bother you so much?
Because it's a crime against humanity. I mean, a Shia, I understand. You run into a Shia or an Alawite, you talk to these guys for 5 minutes and you got to fucking just wring these fucking guys' necks. But a non-Muslim, yeah, no, I met no Alawites in my entire life. And I'd like to keep it that way.
But you've heard tell.
I've heard the tale. Tale.
Yeah.
Would this make you uncomfortable if you're a Muslim guy, like earnestly expressing how much he hates Shia Muslims, or would you feel like, it's not really, that's fine. He probably has a good reason.
I mean, even if he didn't have a good reason, I'm like, that doesn't affect me whatsoever. Like, I'm so irrelevant to this hostility that it's just enjoyable for me to just eat popcorn and listen to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think you're probably right about that.
If I were Shia, I'd probably have a different feeling. But what do I care? You know what I mean? If I railed against Methodists, would you give a shit?
Yeah, I wouldn't care at all. No, without a question. I'm about to play something that is a YouTube video. And I just want to kind of quickly let people know it's a little bit graphic. So if you have any sort of, tendencies,
more graphic than a guy's barefoot on a sink.
Yes. Oh, wait. Hold on. Browser source audio preview is muted. Wait. Why is it muted? This is the problem, Brian.
Can you unmute it?
I'm trying to figure out. It says it's muted. Maybe it's trying to prevent it. Maybe it's like worried that there's going to be like a looping issue. God, I'll be honest with you. Okay, you don't actually have to hear the audio on this because they're speaking Arabic anyway, right? So it's subtitled.
Might even get us out of a copyright thing.
Yeah, without a question. Yeah, that's kind of the name of the game here. Let me see real quick. Where did that thing go? God damn it! Oh, there it is. Let me relaunch it. I'm telling you, dude. After another week with this program, and I'll get how to use it.
Of course.
Okay, but check this out. This is some footage from the massacre. The listeners can kind of hear it.
First ever podcast said it's right here where you go. Check this out. Here's some footage of the massacre. By the way, it's a comedy podcast.
Well, I want you to watch how brutal these executions get.
I like this guy's mustache. That's scenario. That's what
all right, I want you to read what this guy says because this is fucking wild. He asked the guard, did you check if they were from Radifa or whatever city? So I should let you know, an ISIL, basically what happened was an ISIL brigade stormed this prison, and they started asking questions, and essentially they were just looking for the Shias to execute. And so with that said, check out or read the subtitles there.
Sunnis, raise your hands. And he says, I swear to God, if you're a Shia and you pretend to be a Sunni, I'll make you wish you for death.
Yeah, baby, you know
that. Some hands were raised, but when we heard the ultimatum, we put our hands down. There were probably only 3 or 4 who were Sunni.
Okay, so every blur that you see here is a dead body, and so you'll see a couple of executions go down right here. Yeah. Boom, live body. I'm sorry, blurs were the live bodies. One more time.
Right,
live bodies. Boom, just walking through. So this guy escaped, by the way. So he was supposed to get killed.
I imagine it's not like impossible to escape. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean this is great for the episode because there's a great escape story that I can't wait to get into here.
And a few from a different hall were also taken out. So this guy telling the story, this was his turn to get executed.
Yeah.
So we all got to a big hall.
مكان اللي بطحونه بيه بالبداية.
Look outdoors. So
جثة هنا.
Saw dead bodies all around. Many had been killed from torture.
واقعين يضرب على راسه فأكو بيهم.
They were hit on the head.
واحد والله بالقاعة وياي مات واحد فجأة.
الرعوب from being scared and getting hit so many times on the
والله على رجلي مات.
He collapsed next to my feet and died. Christ. When he brought us
قال وين طلعتهم؟ لا اكو واحد
Why did you
هذا
bring them
وين
here? Take
طلعتهم؟
them back. This corridor is full of dead
قال
bodies. Oh, so he was like,
اوديهم.
you know, I'm
قال
not
الممر
getting
متروس.
overtime here. So another
قال
one.
رجعهم
Twice, I'm
للقاعة.
swamped. The guy with us said, but I've already locked up. So this is a worker dispute right here. These are two guys who want less work on their hands in the middle of this massacre.
I hope that there's a
most
follow up on this.
inhumane-
Yeah, it is.
It's the most inhumane conversation you could ever have. Like they're complaining over all the dead bodies while this guy's just sitting there waiting to be a dead body. Holy shit.
I'm telling you, I would love to see a follow up of this video where the like OSHA, committee weighed in on the work
قال لا
conditions.
قفلت. قال وقفوا مع الساتر مال التراب على ما يفرغ
So the guy
الممر.
said take them outside to the trenches until we
وديهم.
clear the corridor.
ISIS filmed their
Okay. I want you to watch this video. By the way, if you're again faint of heart, do not watch right now. This is fucking wild.
للقاعة. قال لا
how
قفلت.
efficiently
قال وقفوا
these
مع الساتر مال
executions
التراب
take
على ما
place.
يفرغ الممر.
So the guy said take them outside to the trenches
وديهم.
until we clear the corridor.
ISIS filmed their
Every
monstrosities,
step is a bullet.
documenting their own
God,
crimes
it's like a
as an
Terminator.
act of propaganda.
This is
And then
fucking insane.
They filmed
dude.
innocent young men being
look at this
shot
guy up top who's just it
in the
almost feels
head
like
in a
sportsman
style
like what
known
he's
for
doing.
execution.
He's just slapping everyone's neck on the way out.
Yeah, he's just letting them know, what's to come. Christ, these are people that have just like literally they're like a cousin away from being each other. You know what I mean? Like it's like Abu Bakr versus the other guy. Like they're so close to each other, the Sunnis and the Shiites, but they're just enough of a difference to hate each other so much. It's God, religion is so fucking toxic. It's
Well, I
insane.
wouldn't say they're necessarily close to each other because
Of
one of the
course you wouldn't.
one of them is Sunni and the other one is Shiite. So I think I don't know if you're understanding what I'm saying about Shias, dude. They're very annoying. They're really tough to talk to, man. So, all right. Do you want to see the most brutal executions, or are you good on executions?
I mean, I'm not faint of heart, but maybe it's not the. Is it good for the show? That's my question.
Yeah, no, it's probably not. It's pretty brutal. It's I can't even believe you can put that shit on YouTube, dude. Like what we were about to see was they would bring a guy. One guy would walk a guy up to the water, and then the other guy would shoot the guy in the head, and then and the other guy would already have the other guy there. Like it was an efficient. Anyways, I never knew about that terrorist attack. It never got on my radar in 2014.
When you see shit like that, then you understand, like, because you know how there are a few people, probably a lot of people who were potentially participating in that massacre who think the Holocaust exaggerated their numbers because they're like, how could they kill that many people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you see shit like that, you're like, there was fucking 30 concentration camps running at the same time, and it was like 10 years of it. Like it's not hard to believe at all.
It's truly not, and honestly, these guys are also like super drugged up, which definitely helps as well. So
They drug up the victims?
They drug up the victims and they drug up the killers. They meth you out in ISIS. It helps, and they coke you up out of your brain, so it makes it a lot easier to do some of this stuff. So
really,
yeah. There's a story I read one time about the profit stream that sort of dealing drugs. They make it with ISIS with dealing drugs. They do as well as they keep some of the drugs that they deal and they get their dudes all fucked up on it, and it's a good way to get people to fight. I feel like the Japanese did this during Pearl Harbor possibly too. If you're in the chat, let me know. I think that is also correct. Kamikaze pilots were fucked up.
Yeah, it makes sense. And also like when we did that old episode on cartel violence and you saw there was a lot of like jihad style violence, I wonder if they're like coming over training people in exchange for cocaine for their warriors.
Yeah. It's probably a super cool business that they're hiding behind the dorkiest stories. It's like, dude, your guys' stories, your guys' business model is so cool. You guys gotta get Islam out of this, dude. This is just big dudes with guns and who sell drugs and fucking run. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know.
This nerd rules based culture.
It's they're afraid to not have the moral high ground. You know what I mean? There's a nihilism to the Colombian cartel where they're like, they like fully like are down with Satan essentially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're like, we are the fucking bad guys. We are the devil. But here they're like, we're going to heaven because we're good guys. And you're like,
we're the good guys. Yeah. It's it's a complicated problem. It's hard to get people who are not born in America to stop believing in God, but that's just how it is. I get it if you're not from America and you believe in God, but if you're from America and you believe in God, that's where I actually have a problem.
Well, you mean white people?
No, not even white people per se. Just being okay. You're Western Europe too.
Yeah. Because like you get like I don't know. You get how like people who like black people in America, you could understand why they would need God, for a long time because it's you gotta think somebody has your back.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Somebody's gotta have my fucking back in this shit life.
Yeah. So I get that and all the other stuff, but if you were born, like after I would say after 1985 and you're white and you're in America or Western Europe and you believe in God, you have to kill yourself.
You're a knucklehead.
You're a knucklehead.
I talk about that on stage about like I've lived in California so long and that like when I meet a white person who believes in God, it's like shocking. It's like what?
Do you still do stand up?
Yeah, I still do stand up. December 5th at the American Comedy Club in San Diego.
Dude, I gave it up. I don't do stand up anymore.
What do you do now?
Now I do
poems.
Yeah, I tour the country and I play the oud and I sing some what are those called? Those fun Muslims? Sufi Islamic poems.
Yeah. Are they funny though?
They're compared to other Sufi poems, yeah.
Are they a morality tale like where it's like a guy who steals other people's chickens and he gets so fat that he can't get his foot up in the sink to wash it?
Exactly.
Dirty to pray.
Yeah. Dude,
how about that for a book?
Where I'm from, just simply being fat is hilarious. Okay, like
in Orange County.
Well, yeah, you're right. But I mean, like in the Middle East, you could have a comedy character, and maybe you could in America too. But comedy characters are regularly just like their thing is that they're fat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, what's funny about like American media now is that like back in the day, for a fat person to get on TV, they had to be outrageously talented.
Yeah,
they had to be like fucking Chris Farley or like Oprah was one of the best interviewers ever. Like to be big, not politicians. That's fine to be. Politicians are for the ugly. Sure. I'm not saying fat people are ugly, but I'm saying that like but there was no beauty standards to politics. But now because of like things have progressed, now you have like untalented fat actors, which is like a really progressive thing. I was watching some show on HBO and there was like a fat actress on there and she was a terrible actress. And I was like, this would have never happened back in the day. This is a good moment for America.
Yeah.
You get on camera and be huge and not out for anything.
Part of it is that I think being fat is very relatable now in America. So it's like, this is just a good representative. And, being fat is sort of a thing. And, what is fat?
I'm getting fat. Oh, whatever I am is fat, dude. I can't stop. I literally can't stop baking pies.
Yeah.
I baked a pumpkin pie. I baked a sweet potato pie.
I'm good at baking?
I'm very good at baking. I'm very good at all things cooking.
Interesting.
I made a coconut curry shrimp yesterday. That was unbelievable. But I'm just like, because I made it from scratch, like I feel like it's not as bad for me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm like, I made this sweet potato pie, with heavy whipping cream and cups of sugar.
What do you think? Is it, not out of curiosity, are you somebody who like learned to cook or do you just have a natural touch?
I think that my seasoning comes from my emotions. I think because I'm such an emotional person that I think my seasoning is just all gut feeling. Yeah. But the baking, that comes from dumpstering food when I was younger. Like I used to go to grocery stores and dumpster food and I had to prepare all of it. You know what I mean?
Dumpstering food means taking it from the dumpster?
Yeah, going to a grocery store.
I guess I'm glad that I cleared that up, to be honest with you. It seemed clear, but
Yeah, we would go to, from Trader Joe's to Earth Fare to all these other grocery stores and we would pull out whatever you got and then you had to make a meal out of it.
I would regularly eat food from behind that they threw away, but then quite thrown it away. They would just kind of put it in the back. I think they maybe were doing it so people could take them. I'm not really sure. But
you're talking about that discount rack in the back of every grocery store?
No, that's a great rack. I love that rack. But when I was younger, literally if you would go behind the Ralphs, they would have a bunch of stuff that they were planning on, like, I don't know, firebombing or something. Like it would just be in a pile. And so we would just take it and go wild with it. And then one time
there were so many catering companies I work for where they would just dump out entire trays of food because they're like, it's illegal to give this to homeless people. You're like, did you look into this law at all? Like, what are you talking about?
That's what lawyers do, by the way. That's what a lawyer does. Their whole gig is telling people to just not do something. They're like, don't do it. You'll get sued. And so they're right, you know?
Just like short ribs and like really nice food, just throwing it right into a dumpster because they're like, look, if a homeless guy gets sick, it's our ass. And it's like, who knows how a homeless guy got sick?
Here's
like, there's no way. If a homeless guy is sick, you cannot trace it to the short ribs, dude.
It's like, well, okay, we're taking a look at his stomach contents. It looks like he had short ribs.
He also had a
Nike. I see a fish head skeleton and the
Who
tail.
eats the apple core? There's no apple in here. It's just core.
A bunch of cigarette butts. I don't know. Does he think he has to swallow them when he's done smoking them? I'm not fully aware. A handkerchief, an old dog.
So we're basically what we're saying is it's definitely the short ribs, and we're putting this catering company out of business.
Oh, listen, man. That's how lawyers work. I was just reading earlier today about this guy who was the only person, I think, in American history to survive the lethal injection. Like they tried to kill him, and he couldn't die. He didn't die.
So if you don't die from is that a loophole? Where like, look, we administered, he didn't die, so back into society he goes.
You know what? You're almost right. They were able to try it as like, you can't double jeopardy. You can't administer the death penalty twice. Like you tried, it didn't work. So that's that. And so it was like the case was like, was won. So the guy didn't get executed. He did have to go back to death row though, which is sort of a wash. I mean, at that point, who cares? But the reason why I brought this up is the guy's family lawyered up and sued the estate for a bunch of money that they could keep essentially for the pain. And this is what I'm saying, like the pain that it caused. This guy stabbed like a motel clerk in the eye in 1987 and like killed like a bunch of people. Like, but
basically, that guy just got the best meal of his life and then a tummy ache.
The guy got the best meal of his life for the worst day of his life, kind of back to back. That's that, man.
Do you think that like everybody else wrote down everything he ate before he went into lethal injection, and they're like, I'm gonna have this exact meal. Yeah, counteracts the lethal injection.
I know. It's kind of a funny thing because it's like the most horrific story about how they couldn't find a vein and they basically injected it in him 3 times or whatever. And all this horrible stuff happened to him. And you're like, wow, that is like the best. That's like his dream came true. Like,
that's the luckiest bastard alive.
Everyone's trying to get that blueprint down right now.
George Bush probably flew back to watch it.
Yeah, dude.
What the hell's going on here? That's a bold move a president would never do anymore. I don't think. Not even Donald Trump would do that. I don't.
To go watch an execution, yeah.
That's like President Clinton did it. Bush W did it. Like they like fly back because they used to be governors. And these cases were really important.
Really, that's happened before. Wow, I can't believe that.
George W. Bush literally 100%. You can look this up. Flew back to oversee the execution of a mentally challenged guy that like he like forced him to kill when he was governor.
Oh, because he thought it'd be funny or whatever, or he just wanted to like it.
No, I think he was like, we're trying this guy as an adult, and as he left, he was a president. He flew back to oversee it. Yeah. It was a wild move where he's like, I mean, what was he thinking? Like, I gotta see this shit. I don't have I gotta see.
Get good seats probably to any execution as the president. I mean, that's kind of one of the perks. Maybe you might as well take advantage of the perks. You know, go through.
Maybe I mean, if you're president, they probably let you like
let you do the thing, do the switch, or
throw the switch. Yeah.
You know what's funny is the state of Alabama, which was tried to kill this guy. This guy, by the way, died today of natural causes, which is why I did all this reading about him. His name is like Doyle Ham or something. He has like a hilariously
the whitest name ever.
it's like let me see what his name is.
Doyle Ham is the name of a guy who would survive lethal injection.
God, his last name is
good shit.
Bro, I thought I was making it up. His name is Doyle Lee Ham.
His name's Doily? Doily Ham?
I guess so, dude. Look at this guy. He without a question looks like a guy who would survive the lethal injection. Here's
Jesus
his picture.
Christ, did he survive a gunshot to the face there too? It looks like he's got like a bullet hole.
So according to this article, the man went through a crime spree on one particular day. Let me see. Let's see if I can where's that window? Oh, there it is. He went through a crime spree. Let's see. In 1987, he killed the motel clerk. And then what is the other thing? He did one other thing. But that's the thing he really got in trouble for. Oh, there we go. Convicted
of killing a breakfast at a restaurant he wasn't staying in, a hotel he wasn't staying at.
He killed a motel clerk, and who was shot in the head once while shifting overnight at a motel, and then he took $410. Jeez, this is the thing that sucks the most about
inflation, Ramsey. Inflation.
Oh, so he took like $43,000 and held up in today's money.
That was a down payment on a mansion in 1987.
Yeah, these are 410 Reagan dollars. So they mean a lot more.
Bucks.
This is the thing that sucks about, by the way, this is how you know, like, we got to fix something in this country where you're just like, I can't possibly be killed for $410. Like, the idea that somebody will kill you, and I'm sorry, not just for $410, but they don't even get to keep it. They just get $410 for a couple of days.
Do you understand? Within this podcast, you related to a massacre of 1,400 people just because they were Shiites.
1,400 Shiites.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, you said people.
Sorry, and that you were like, I get that. Then this guy gets murdered for $410, which at least $410 is a real thing you could touch, and you were like, that's a shame. That is not enough money.
He only got it for like, what I'm saying is if he killed somebody for $410 and then, I don't know, 5 years later he got caught, at least we can go like, well, he got to spend that $410 and like, you know, he really got it. But if you killed somebody for $410 and then you're caught that night, like, what a bummer. You didn't even get to spend the $400. Like,
yeah. And if I were him, he was in Alabama, I would drive over to Mississippi to one of the riverboat casinos and I would have put $410 on black.
Yeah. Well, good day. You're absolutely right. I mean, you know,
and then if it didn't hit, I would have just shot the guy at the roulette table and taken the money.
I like how being a guy who was convicted of murder in 1987, and then you got the death penalty. So that's already like pretty bad luck. And then at the very end, you get to the death penalty and they stick you, and then you survive, and then you go, lucky. You're lucky. Like, he's lucky. I think he had a horrible luck up until then.
He mentally prepared himself to die.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
And then after that, that borrowed time must feel awful.
I think
you're like, I got a new lease of life, but you're still in prison.
I think this article, maybe it's this one or maybe it's a different one, that basically the state of Alabama has concluded after his particular attempt with the lethal injection that they will not do the lethal injection anymore, and that in fact, you know, gas is the only humane way to kill somebody. So some good came out of this.
Humane, like it's the only way to definitely kill somebody is what they mean.
Yeah, let's not.
Do they eat their last meal right before? Like, do they take like a big lobster brisk shit in their pants right when they die? Like,
there must be some rule where they're like
the night before, right?
Some fucking prison union rule got together and they're like, we demand for our employees that you guys do the last meal 3 days before the execution because our guys shouldn't have to clean up the shit on the chair. You know, I'm sure that those rules are in there.
They really call it your last meal, but your last meal is actually just oatmeal or grits or whatever.
I'm positive that that's the case. Your last meal is probably something pretty standard, you know, maybe even just like plain bread, you know.
You can't be taking a strip steak shit.
Yeah.
You know, right? Because that's what you do, right? You evacuate your bowels right when you die.
Yeah. Oh, especially for me, I'd be calling a Crunchwrap Supreme, and it'd be a goddamn mess, dude. For sure, I would throw Crunchwrap Supreme in the final meal. I've decided that.
Oh, is that yes, I like that one. I like, if I'm trying to make a mess, I would go with the Taco Bell Mexican pizza.
So, okay, here's the thing, though. You can get whatever you want, right? So you can have this meal be as incoherent as you want it to be.
Yeah.
So you're saying one of the things you're getting is a Taco Bell Mexican pizza.
Yeah.
What else do you think you're going to get?
Well, for me, I'm definitely getting a plain cheesecake and rotisserie chicken. That's like
Dude,
those are the honest
cheesecake. Oh shit,
dude. Those are the honest choices. And then the other stuff, I'm asking for the rarest ingredients in the world. I want to make it a very difficult meal to find. Like I want baklava from Lebanon, from a certain Syrian bakery.
You send them out on basically just a giant scavenger hunt. Ooh, I like this. There's a particular soup I like, and it's made out of this very rare sponge found at the bottom of Mariana's Trench.
Exactly. I want a seared coelacanth.
Yeah.
You know, or some kind of fish they see once every 200 years.
Yeah, I'd like a steak grilled on Saddam Hussein's grill. So you guys are going to need to go to Iraq and find one of the palaces.
Yeah.
Try to get ISIS to leave.
I want a snow owl drumstick.
A snow owl.
I would
Dude, I'll tell you right now. Can I tell you right now? You do not want a snow owl drumstick. Have you ever seen an owl's legs? Owls have insane legs.
Yeah, they look deep fried. Outside of their legs, they look like they've already been fried.
No animal's legs are more shocking than an owl's legs. Owl's legs are weird.
It's like you're catching it naked. Like it should be covered up.
Absolutely, without a question. I'm gonna pull it up right now, really quickly, just because we have the capabilities of doing so. Why not? Here we go. Look at this fucking thing. It's awful, terrible.
They look like a fat guy in skinny jeans. That's what they look like.
Look at this.
They look like a fat guy in skinny jeans who's wearing like big clunky Chris D'Elia sneakers.
Yeah, owls look like they're wearing joggers.
Yeah, they do. They look like a 2015 hype comedian sneaker comic.
If you were trying to do look at this owl sitting cross-legged. This is fucking absurd, dude. If you were trying to eat a drumstick, like look how long that leg is gonna be.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's more about finding the snow owl. I just know from Dumb and Dumber that it's a very rare animal.
Sure.
That's where he pops the champagne cork and kills him.
It's embarrassing how much I 100% knew when you were saying it. I'm like, no, but I'll let him say. I'll let him like. Maybe there's a good reason that he's bringing up the snow owl. Maybe he actually knows.
It's Dumb and Dumber.
All right. Really, before we get out of here, because we've been streaming an hour, and the name of the podcast is Worst Hour Podcast. So, by the way, shout it if you're in the live stream. Shout in the live stream what your last meal is going to consist of, because I'm curious. I'd like to know. You want to watch? This is one of the most amazing videos I've ever seen in my entire life. There's a gentleman in North Korea, or I should say, he's currently in China. His name is Zhu Jianzhan. He's a defector from North Korea, and he actually somehow, while in China, was arrested and spent a couple years in prison in China. Here's a picture of him, by the way. He's a pretty badass looking dude.
Wow.
He had an 11-year sentence, which he was slashed 2 times due to his good behavior. But he broke out of prison and was trying to get back to North Korea. Which...
What does that say about China?
I mean, what does that say about China? I guess China's prison. Like, China's prison is way better than
worse than North Korea?
Than North Korea. He was sentenced to 11 years and accused of illegally coming across the border, stealing money, clothes, cigarettes, and phones from a Chinese village. Oh, and stabbing an elderly woman. All right, well, I mean,
All right.
To be honest with you, he only got 11 years for that.
They probably base it on how long her life expectancy was left.
Yeah, China would do something like that.
Yeah, that's the math to the equation.
Authorities initially offered a $23,000 reward, but they upped it to $78,000, then to $100,000. Let's see. The video of his capture near Jilin Lake shared on state social media was triumphant. I'll pull that video up as well. But I gotta show you his actual attempt to, or his actual escape, because it is truly amazing. And because of the nature of a Chinese prison, every single thing is, as you can imagine, videotaped. So they caught him every single step of the way. Let me see here. Let me know that
the
you can see my
villages are
screen.
all under CCTV.
All CCTV. So I'm gonna play the video right now. Are you seeing it?
Yep.
Okay. There's some audio over it. It's but people in Chinese calling out what's going on. So
bugs flying by the camera, or is those bullets?
This is, I think it's snow. This is another thing. This guy was, by the way, escaping through just like the treacherous cold winter in China. So there he is right there. And I got to tell you, his attitude about escaping is very lax. He's not running. He's kind of doing it as cash as possible.
He's walking like his feet hurt so bad.
Yeah.
He's walking like he's got a sunburn on his feet.
It's crazy how fucking much security there is in a Chinese prison. There he is right there. He's scaling up this. I don't even know what this building is.
It looks like the building that they in Breaking Bad where they build
yes, the white supremacy bunker or whatever.
Yeah.
You can see my mouse on the bottom right hand corner. There's a bunch of like people who've like gathered to watch the situation. Here he is running across the roof. Now there's an electric fence right over here.
Gotta get this guy an American Ninja Warrior.
I mean, truly, look. So what he's done is he's taken off his jacket and he's flinging
over
He's trying to take down the electric fence, actually, is what he's doing. So he's pulling it, as you can see, these sparks kind of coming off. He's pulling and pulling on it so that the electric fence basically breaks. And I guess he's got his bet here that he's going to be, that this thing will break and he'll be able to touch it without getting electrocuted. Look at all the prisoners and the prison guards now getting involved in the mix.
Everybody's excited something's happening.
Yeah. So he's going over. Now we cut to he scaled the wall. He's climbing the fence. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to cut to just outside. This is how fucking.
This is like a 90s video game.
Do you see it? Did you see it? Like, look at this is his body.
God!
One more time. That's him. I'm paused it. He's right there. All right. Boom. Just bounces.
Oh my God.
Stays down, by the way. This is not frozen. He's not moving right now. He's out for a couple of seconds, rolls off this curb.
Oh, Christ.
After a fall like that, gets up and just fucking
continues to walk like his feet hurts.
He's confused too, because like as he gets up, he's like not sure. He's like, obviously somebody's gonna be shooting at me. So he's like he starts running serpentine. Like he doesn't know where to go or what to do. I think he may have been getting shot at. I really think he may have been getting shot at as well.
Every bone in his body's broken now, too. Jesus, the speed he fell.
He fell so hard. Let's look at it one more time just because it's good to watch.
Oh, my God. Oh, God, the poor bastard.
Oh, just so. He hits that, and he's out, dude. 40 days. This guy gets out for 40 days. Is that not something amazing? Do we not?
I mean, listen, his life is he? So what's going on with him now?
So he's been taken back to a Chinese prison, and
I want to talk about a guy who survived a lethal injection. Christ Almighty!
Dude,
they're gonna lethally inject a bullet in his forehead, and he's just gonna fucking run away again with his weird posture.
The ability for I guess China to be so petty to like, I mean, how many problems do you think China has right now? And the fact that they're like, we gotta get this motherfucking guy so badly.
I'm telling you, nobody agrees with me that China's pettiness is gonna be its downfall.
You think so?
I really believe that. I think that what they're doing, the fact that the Women's Tennis Association has been saying that they're willing to lose millions of dollars and never work with China if they don't release that Chinese tennis player, and the fact that they're going to triple down on that, like they're going to get into so many different little beefs that are just going to make it. That's just going to take that empire down.
I don't disagree with you, unfortunately, but as a Palestinian, my only hope for Palestine to be free is that China eventually becomes the dominant superpower, and then Obviously, they don't give a fuck about Israel or anything anymore. I mean, they just want. Honestly, China might knock down Jerusalem, or I should say Israel, completely, just to piss off the United States. They may just completely go like, we're going.
No. I think what they're gonna do is they're just like, I think is Israel being a state that is surrounded by people that don't really want it around. They constantly are in a little bit of survival mode. I think they'll just switch to allegiances to China.
You think so?
If it becomes necessary, I mean, what would any other state that's surrounded by hostile countries?
Yeah.
What would you do?
I think, well, the thing is I think that China is going to strike up a deal with all the Arab countries, and they're going to become, I think they're going to see the value that the Arab countries still have, or maybe we won't have them in an electric car world. I'm not entirely sure, but they're going to go like, why don't we just do what the Americans did, except we'll do it at the Chinese way, which is we'll just get we'll put a bunch of businesses inside of these, countries, and we'll be friends with them, and they'll give us all their oil. And then if that means fuck Israel, well, fuck Israel. Then we don't give a shit. We're business people.
I just feel like militaristically and scientifically, Israel's so advanced that I don't think anybody's going to say fuck them.
You want to shit on my dream? You want to shit on my people's dream? That's your prerogative, my friend.
I mean, talk about not taking a cue from history.
This is our one. We've been here live streaming for an hour 15, so let's call it right here. But just wanted to hop on here, folks. Give our live streaming capabilities a test. Let you know that the worst hour of the week will return in 2022. I don't know what it'll be called.
Just wanted to do a little whet your appetite, and then a month and a half later, we will come back.
Well, I mean, we could come back and stream. We'll see. If you guys like the stream, we'll possibly come back and stream depending on how things go. But we're not gonna have time to basically link up with each other because I'm a huge Christmas head. I celebrate Christmas all of December, so I take the month off and just sort of get right with the Lord.
Yeah. Do you get all the actual presents, the 25 days of Christmas?
Yeah, absolutely. I do a lot of
the pear tree, the 2 turtle doves.
I put on a red sweater all month around. I'm like handing people, all the local kids, presents.
Yeah, you're bringing French hens to everybody.
Hopefully, yeah, dude. I really hate. This by the way just reminds me of how much I hate my neighborhood, because I live in a neighborhood that is there's so many youth churches that have opened up in the last maybe 2 months. There's so many youth churches around here.
You live in a gentrified neighborhood. Usually the first thing a gentrified neighborhood does is get rid of God.
No, I live in an old Filipino neighborhood.
Oh, you moved?
I live in Eagle Rock. Yeah. Well, for now, but very soon I will move the hell out of here because I can't stand it.
Right. My neighborhood's an old Mexican neighborhood, so they go hard for Christmas.
I don't mind people going hard for Christmas, but it's just the youth churches. When I see a lot of youth churches, it's just that's like the creepiest form of the religion to me.
100%. You shouldn't be allowed to go to church until you're 18.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. All right. Hey. Oh wait!
Beat up the priest who's trying to suck you off.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the thing that I think is weird. Is I think these churches, dare I say, Brian, they have no interest in sucking off the kids. I get it if you want to suck off the kids. If that's what you're doing, do your thing. But this is what creeps me out about these youth churches. Is I think they have no interest in fucking kids. I think they actually just think God is cool. All right. We'll catch you guys next time. Like I said, I don't know, maybe we'll do another stream or two before then, but if not, full swings again in January. And thanks for all the positive messages, everybody. I'll be in Austin December 12th through the 15th if you want to check me out. And then I'm in Sacramento and Fresno in January. Plus, I think maybe even Houston in January as well, working that out as well. So I don't know, follow me wherever. Brian, you have anything you want to plug to these people before we get out of here?
December 5th, I'll be at the American Comedy Club in San Diego. And then I might have a bunch of dates February, March, and then also Europe, late March, early April.
I have a new website, by the way, ramsbad.com. Go to ramsbad.com for all my dates. That's RAMSBAD. Some Chinese soccer company bought ramsbadawi.com. So they unfortunately whipped me. On behalf of everybody here at the Worst Hour Nation, thanks for tuning into the live stream here, and peace be unto the prophet.
Long live Doyle Ham.
It's the worst hour of the week with Brian Vokey and Ramsey Badawi.
All right, cool, man.